Over the years, we've facilitated retreats. We've watched people slow down, withdraw into the presence of God, and the benefits have been incredible. What happens when people retreat?
So it has a lot to do with our souls as individuals. And when we pull away to retreat, and not just retreating, you're spending time with the one who knows you, the one who created you. When you do that, then you're caring for your soul, your real self.
You know, as Matthew 11 says, recover your life. And so going to Pender, doing these retreats are definitely restorative to my soul.
Yeah, so when I retreat, I gain a new perspective on life and make the appropriate changes for that.
He spoke to me about trust, and he showed me who he really is. Jehovah Shammah, the Lord is there. And he's not just here with me now, he's in my future. And he's guiding me every step of the way. So he just reassured me that all I need to do is let go and to trust him.
Yeah, just yesterday I went on a one-day hike up in the mountains, and I was walking through a forest of very large trees, and I just felt the prompting of the Holy Spirit to stop and look up. And I just felt the Lord asking me a question. You know, would you stand as a tree of righteousness for me? And that question opened up some meditation for me as I walked. I saw a large tree that had fallen over and had a massive root system, which I was just drawn to reflect on as well. How much of that tree's strength was below the surface, could not be seen, and yet was critical to this tree's capacity to stand. And so I think one of the keys to standing is being rooted, and taking time to be alone with God is one of the ways we root ourselves into His presence.
Definitely brings about a broader perspective on my life. I'm able to step back and see my life in a greater context, perhaps in a greater kingdom context.
A deeper clarity on what I'm doing, where I'm going, because if I stop, I feel like my mind, my body, my soul kind of come into alignment with or into a position of hearing from God.
It helps me to kind of reset the timeline of my thoughts, and I don't have those interruptions every 2 to 3 minutes, so I can think the thought all the way through to the end and see where it goes. I can read the whole chapter. I don't have to just grab a snippet and run and hope that does me for the day.
I'm noticing resonance between the voice of God, the Holy Spirit's whispers, the life of the poor around me, because they're often bringing me in touch with the voice of God, and the life of Christ on earth. That trinity of resonance is an amazing thing for me, and that is what I'm often looking for when I'm listening for the voice of the Holy Spirit to speak to me.
Part of the rhythm in the life of Jesus is hearing the voice. At His baptism, Jesus hears the Father speak over Him, "You are my Son whom I love. With you I am well pleased." And today, people are listening and hearing God. And so I've asked people the question, what is it like when God speaks?
Just thinking back to those times, it's exhilarating. The first, when you hear God's voice and you know it's God's voice, you're excited, you're enthused, the confidence goes through the roof.
I feel deeply loved because He's taken the time to be with me, and everything stops and I can really hear Him.
When God speaks, I come alive.
When God speaks, I feel special.
When God speaks, it's reassuring,
Humbling.
strengthening.
The still, sweet, gentle, loving voice of the Lord. It's amazing. It's so beautiful. It's so refreshing. It's so comforting. and it makes you feel unworthy, but at the same time it makes you feel worthy. It builds your esteem. I don't know, it calls for your value as a person. I mean, hearing his voice makes you come alive.